1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2,
All right. Let me shut that
4,
metronome up.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, she's gone. Oh my goodness gracious. How you doing, guys? I'm just having fun working on some stuff with the inverted roll, and I wanted to share it with you tonight. I wrote up a really nice lesson kind of exploring the use of it, and what prompted this whole thing, and let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay, all that good stuff. You know, I'm working this by myself. It's a little bit difficult at times, as you could see. Yeah, so you know what prompted this whole thing is I see lots of information out there, or lack of information out there, about how to devise sort of a way to approach playing inverted rolls. Like I'll see many drummers go, yeah, I really, you know, love using inverted rolls in my playing, and you'll see them kind of demonstrate that kind of thing, but there doesn't seem to be a real system for it. And, you know, I would notice basically that the 6-stroke roll is basically an inverted roll that has 2 singles on the end caps, right? So I was like, oh, so if we just take that one and we expound upon that sticking. So I've been writing this lesson. Listen, you guys know me, or a lot of you know me. I've been writing this lesson since November. So I started writing this in November, and I was like, man, you know, that the inverted, you know, roll, if we had a way to kind of encapsulate it into rudiments, just the way we do with all the other rolls. I mean, we have a 5-stroke roll, we have a 7-stroke roll, a 9-stroke roll, a 10, and 11. 10 is can be an inverted roll. 11, 13, 15. You know, we have all these rolls at our disposal, but we don't really have a system for playing inverted rolls. And beyond that, what I realized is it's all the even stroke rolls, right? So, and I did notice today, I was going through Sanford Moeller's book, the Moeller book, and he references an 8-stroke roll. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't invent it. I thought I invented it. But, so the 8-stroke roll has been around, but very not widely used, right? And you don't hear people talk about it much. And then the other day, I hear Klaus Hessler mention the 8-stroke roll in one of his lives. And I was like, oh my God, like, you know, once again, I sit on the lesson that I wrote back in November, and then I don't do anything with it, and now I'm like, oh man, people are talking about it. So I wanted to bring it up and kind of share the lesson with it. I apologize if that was a little rough, what I was playing there, but I realized that in working on these various even stroke rolls that it lends itself to grooves really well. And of course, everyone is familiar with Gad's use of the inverted roll and in a few different places, but also in his soloing, right? So we've all heard sort of this, that approach that he takes, right? That was badly played, I apologize. That kind of approach, where the bass drum is kind of filling in and it's more of a linear approach to it. But kind of what I think is it's interesting to take those actual rolls and explore them on the drum set. So the groove that I was playing at the top was this. It's basically an inverted 8-stroke roll. So I was playing... And the nice thing is it creates a really beautiful bell pattern. And what I'm basically playing is this. Right, which is the 8-stroke roll. And I was like, wow, that sounds really nice, split over a few surfaces, right? So now, in practicing that, I'll just tell you what the sticking is. And actually, I am going to share a PDF of this, of course, with you guys. But for the moment, stick with me. It's going to be a right single followed by 3 doubles, followed by another right single, which brings us to the left side, and we switch. So watch. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Hence an 8-stroke roll. And that's where I felt that groove, this. Right? And I think it's a really nice use of that idea. So that led me to say, well, we all know the 6-stroke roll. I'm going to put the pad up. Let me know if you can hear the pad. If it's too low, because I know I sometimes in the hand technique workshop stuff, you don't hear it that loud. But here, I'll play some pad just so I don't blow you guys out all night. But so that 8-stroke roll becomes... Right, so I'm using an inverted roll starting with a single stroke, which moves the doubles over. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right. Now, of course, like I said, that came from what I know as the 6-stroke roll. Now, many of us play the 6-stroke roll as 16th note triplets. So, of course, that's end caps, a right and a left end cap with 2 doubles in the middle. Right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And often we play it as sextuplets, right? Right, so often we're using that triplet feel. But what if we took that same sticking and straightened it out into 16th notes? And we play 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E N, right? It would be cross rhythmic unless we're playing in 3/4 time. Then we could go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right. But again, a lot of the time we're using those as sextuplets. Right, using that triplet feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to take it and put it into the 16th note grid. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E, right? So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1. So we have a 6-stroke roll, we have an 8-stroke roll so far, right? And then I said, to me, hello, Jim. What if we took the 6-stroke roll and we doubled that and we made a 12-stroke roll? That doesn't exist in rudiments. Neither does the 8 technically, but 8-stroke roll, 6-stroke roll, 8-stroke roll, 12-stroke roll. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and. So we're going to play all the way up to the 3. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2. 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1. 12 strokes. Right, left, left, right, right. So when you count it out, you need to hit the downbeat every group of 3/4 notes, right? 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 3E and a 1, right? 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1. Now I said to myself, 12-stroke roll is pretty cool. That gives us 3 beats. But why not go further and do a 16-stroke roll? Because we have a 17, we have a 15. So let's do a 16-stroke roll. So the 16-stroke roll would be waiting all the way till the downbeat again. We get that a 1. So it would go like this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. 3E and a 4E and a 1. So that's a 16-stroke roll. So now we have, and they all start with a single in the front, a single in the back, which makes kind of nice phrasing, right? We have all these groups that come together with these singles in the front, singles in the back. Now, what if we took that 16-stroke roll and the 8-stroke roll and the 6-stroke roll and the 12-stroke roll and we started to mix them? So one thing I realized, like with the 12-stroke roll, that got us to beat 3. So for the 4th beat, couldn't we just use a 4-stroke roll, which is number 6 from stick control, the inverted paradiddle, or as I like to call it, the diddle in the middle. So now I'm going to play a 12-stroke roll with a diddle in the middle on the end. And of course, I'm going to put up the stickings. I promise you guys I'll have all the stickings of this. But it would go 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. So I'm basically, I'll do it on the snare now, and I'm going to put it on a metronome. So it would be basically this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. Let me put on that metronome for you, and you can hear that. I'm going to set it to 70 BPM. And actually, I'm doubling this. I'm playing 30-second notes.
1, 2, 3.
You know what? I'll do it slow first.
1, 2, 3,
ready,
4.
1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. Hey,
1,
metronome, stop
2,
it.
3.
It's stopping and
4.
starting. 1E and a 2E.
2.
Oh,
3,
wow.
4. 1.
Let
2,
me shift over
3.
to... YouTube is not liking that I'm playing a metronome on YouTube. Let me put it on my phone. That was funny. Keep stopping and starting. I thought I was losing my mind. So let's go to, let's go down to 70. And we'll put on eighth notes at 70. Let's see if you guys hear this okay. Let me know. Let's see. Track 3. 2. There we go. 2, ready, go. And 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. So I'm playing a 12-stroke roll plus a 4, and it looks like this. I'm going to orchestrate it just so you hear where the accents land. Put the metronome back on so you have the reference. 3 and 4 and... So all day I've been playing them about here. So it feels really strange to play it at 70. But so that's the 12 plus the 4. So we get to beat 3, and then we have that little add-on at the end, which lets us repeat that. Really nice little phrase, and I'm using a 12-stroke roll plus a 4-stroke roll, right? 2 and 3 and 4. Right? Nice little feel to that. And one word about technique with it, and it's something that, you know, I'm continuously working on, is you really have to snap that second stroke and bring it out in these inverted rolls to make them sound good. So, in other words, I worked on these inverted rolls, believe it or not, like on my lap when I was a kid. And to really try to snap out the second stroke and play the second stroke almost louder. So I'm kind of pushing the second stroke out. And what I'll do is I'll play that like on a floor tom, something that's not rebounding really well like this. And you can hear me pushing that second stroke. So if I play that 12 plus 4 combination, and I'm using, molar strokes, low molar whipping strokes to pull out those accents. So that's the 12 plus the 4. Now, if you're not familiar with the 4 to begin with, which is stick control number 6 on page 5, it's this. So I'm going to play, I won't accent the end caps. I'll just accent the downbeats for the moment. Right, so if we played that maybe in a groove setting, it would be. So we could consider that a 4-stroke roll. Right, so. And I find that it's lends itself really well to playing sort of funk, rock, and fusion kind of stuff. And I like to put the downbeats on the snare and then hit the toms on the up. Right, so it's kind of a nice use of that 4-stroke. So I'm using that same sticking, that 4-stroke roll as a groove. Now, so we have a 4, we have a 6, we have an 8-stroke roll, we have a 12-stroke roll, and we made a 16. There's a part 2 to this because there are other ones in there that are even stroke rolls as well. But let's just look at this. So what if we played the 8, and let's use the toms as accent placement, orchestrations. Right, so that's kind of nice. We have that 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Now, if we did that groove that I did before, which is the same thing, but up here, right? So that would flow together really nicely. Now I started to change it up a little bit in there. I started to put in some sixes. So cross rhythmically, what if we did, we'll do the eights. So I'm starting to put in a 4 plus a 6. Right? So we could really do a lot of interesting stuff cross-rhythmically with these different rolls. So the work becomes, and I wrote a lot of these orchestrations in the lesson, but the work becomes getting used to all of these on the practice pad first, right? And so let's do this. So I guess I'll half time it. I'll play it a 16th note, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. I'm going to start with the 4-stroke roll. 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and then we'll go to the 6. Now 8-stroke roll. Now 12-stroke roll and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 2 E. A 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1. Now a 16-stroke roll. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, ready and go, and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. So those are the stroke rolls that we're dealing with today. So 4, 6, 8, 12, 16. And then we have the combinations. So let me see. I'm going to share half the screen with you and see if I can get it in there so you can see the actual sheet. I'm going to split screen it. Let's see if I can pull this off on the fly here. I can't see my, oh, that's not the one. Where's my split screen, kitty? Oh, that's not the one. There's some things I was doing for Stan Moore. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I shared some wrong screens. Part of the reason is, I'm working by myself. I'm trying to do everything. It's hard to do. I used to have my Billy, my right-hand Billy man. I had a Billy. I had a Billy for a while. I don't got no Billy right now. All right, here we go. So check it out. So let's go back. So here are some of those combinations I was talking about. So and here's actually the whole lesson, so you can kind of see it. So from the top we had that 16-stroke roll. The next one was our 6, right? 3 and 4 and the 8-stroke roll. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. 8-stroke, 2, ready and go, and so there's our 8-stroke roll. Then we go to the 6. 2 and 3 and 4 and By the way, that takes 3 full measures to come back around on the 1. I did it twice as long. So that you should be able to hear that. And here's our 4-stroke, which is just the inverted paradiddle, or the diddle in the middle. So I like to play both accents if it's in context with the rest of this stuff. Let me show you both ways. And 4 and so when I start bringing up both sides, a little harder to play, but it's kind of got an interesting feel to it. And then, so those are the individualized rolls, right? This is the groove I was showing you before, this whole section. So this thing. And I put in some bit different bass drum patterns to mess around with that, but it's all based on that that 8-stroke roll. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you heard me do this or if I even remembered to do it, but I go into 3 sometimes playing that thing. Let me see if I can. I like using the voice metronome for that, but. Right, so sort of fun to play that that groove. I really enjoy that one, and I wrote in a few different grooves, and there's more that I'm adding to this because, as I said before, it's kind of a work in progress. You can see some empty bars here where I've been adding stuff in. Okay, so let's look at these couple of combinations that I was talking about before. So this is the 12 plus 4 combo, right? So I put it 12 plus 4, and I put in the sticking and I put in the accent patterns where they lay. So it's really fun to play. And so here's what we have. 1E into 2E into 3E into 4E into 1E into 2. Right, so that's our a 3, a 4, 2, 3, and 4, and. All right, so that's sort of a fun one. I really enjoy that one. Check time because I just want to make sure that we're staying on it. Okay, how we doing, kiddies? How we all doing there, kiddies? All right, we're doing good. Now, let's go over to the next one, which is, so this one's a little bit, takes a little while longer to get through it. So I'm going to do 12s, and then I'll do an 8 on the end, so it's 12 plus 12 plus 8. So we have 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2. A 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1. So let's put that to a metronome. I'll put that a little bit slower. Let's do, let's see. 1E and a 2 and a 3 and a 1E and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2. Where is my dial? I want to dial it in, baby. This metronome. 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2. A 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2. 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and So now I'm just going to count it out like the way that you're supposed to be hearing it. 1 and 2 and pat. Hey man. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. The 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. So that one's kind of fun because it's a little more cross rhythmic and it's a longer phrase. So we have that. And then we have one where we do the same thing, but we're going to put 2 4s on the end. So we have this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2E, 1. So now we have that inverted paradiddle at the end. So that little 3 3 4 4 thing is kind of nice. 1E and 2E and a 3 and a 1E and a 2E. Right? So another sort of fun one that's a little bit elusive in the beginning because it's a little cross rhythmic, right? 2 and let me go back to 70. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and right? That's a fun one. All right, let's move forward. And now we have, okay, so where are my goggles? I can't see what I'm doing. Let me, you know what, before I keep moving, because I'm just blazing through this, let me stop and say hello to some folks, because otherwise I'm going to get to the end of this and it'll be over and I wouldn't have said hello to anybody and I'm going to be so lonely. Holy moly. All right, Bob Sears in the house. What's happening? Toscano-Drums. What's up, Toscano-Drums? Good to see you, man. I'm not sure who that is, but cool. John Hoffman in the house. What's up, brother? I spent some time with John Hoffman today. He's repping Welch drums, man. The ones that like you turn the tuning device and it's got that cable that runs around the drums and tunes it. You got to check those drums out. It's something. Woo! It's something. First of all, they sound great. They look really, really gnarly. I mean, it's like the cables going around reminds me of like almost an old rope drum look, but modernized with like aircraft cable or something. It's pretty insane. Nice. Steve C in the house. Hat game strong. You like the hat game? That's cool. I'll be doing the hat game. Christian Johnson, what's up? How you doing, man? What's going on? So glad you popped in. Really nice. Hey, Lucia, what's happening? Pat Ross in the house. Stephen Chamberlain in the house. Canada's in the house, baby. Stephen Chamberlain is a badass drummer. Woo! Sorry for my language. I take it back. Swallowed it. Rocco in the house. Hey, hey, and Bob Sears again. Christian, yeah, those drums look awesome. Thanks, man. Oh, the drums I was talking about or my drum kit? They're both awesome. I will tell you. These are Star Classic Maples, and what I was saying about Johnny playing Welch Drum Company stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. So, what are you thinking of the inverted roll idea? You think it's fun? I felt like it kind of needed a system. You know, we have a system for everything else, right? We have a system for all of our numbered rolls. Everybody knows a 5-stroke roll and how to use that and how to bring it into the drum kit. But not, you know, there's not a lot of discussion about these even stroke rolls, except for the 6 and maybe the 10. And we'll get to those in the part 2. So the 8, I really fell in love with the 8 idea, especially, you know, figuring it into a groove. And, you know, basically what I keep working on and what I'm spending a lot of my time working on is getting them to sound super, super even. Because Lewis Larson in the house, what's up, dude? And, you know, it's getting those middle strokes to sound super even is really important. And to make it sound good and sound even, you really have to put the time in. I mentioned at the top of this thing, in case you weren't there, that I was talking about snapping that second stroke and really trying to pull out that second stroke. And I did spend an awful lot of time trying to do these on unrebounding surfaces. And also, by the way, with brushes. So that's the other thing I wanted to mention. I almost forgot that. And for those of you who are in the hand technique workshop a couple of weeks ago, I did the whole double stroke section with brushes because I felt like it's fun to do. And I can torture myself a little bit. So if we're doing these the even stroke rolls this way, we could play, you know, that 8-stroke roll. And really work on, you know, snapping out those accents. And I think it sounds really good. And in fact, some of the triplet things that I was doing when I was playing sort of at the top, playing 16th note triplets inverted, right? So that kind of thing. And so again, practice all these even stroke rolls when you get that PDF. Right, so spend a little time with the brushes on this stuff. I think it's super fun to work it that way. Wait, let me say. Let me see. What now? Reminds me of the gad groove. Right. So I talked about the gad groove at the top, and these, you know, the use of it that I'm using kind of puts in all the strokes. I love that the gad groove. Hey, stop it. Be nice, Mr. Metronome. The gad groove uses that kick drum substitution, right? Right? And that's really nice with that bass drum substitution. But I wanted to kind of carve out something new and something different. And, you know, I mean, Gad did that brilliantly. And I'm probably not going to do what he did as much justice, you know what I mean? So I came up with this little system. So, you know, definitely take the PDF, start going through this stuff. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to go back into the chart a little bit right here. Let me just see if there's anything I really forgot. Oh, it's just orchestrations. So as we go forward in this thing, there's more orchestrations of, you know, some ideas to do. And I use that 12-4 a lot because it resolves every measure, right? So what's kind of nice about that one, so the 12, 1 and 2 and 3. And then every once in a while, I'll throw in that little extra 12, that little cross rhythmic thing. Right, so that's that 12 combo. And also, you know, just practicing going around your kit and finding ways of resolving all of this. And my exit strategy often will be just putting in a bass drum at the end. Right, so it's just got a nice feel to it. I don't know. I love digging into this a bit. And I promised to bring some more stuff into the part 2 of this, and write this stuff up. I did not drop it into the description yet, so as soon as we end this live stream, I'm gonna run over to my little computer across the room. Oh, you can't see my face, can you? Not that you want to see my face, but maybe you want to see my face. I don't know. I'm gonna run over to my little computer across the room, and I'm gonna drop that PDF into the description, so after the fact you will be able to download it. I apologize for not having it up in time. I usually try to have it up in time. Dave Guerra in the house. Yo, Davey. Dave, man, John Hoffman and I were talking about paddling and heli skiing and mountain boarding. Very, very cool conversation today. I think I brought you up in that conversation. I keep going the wrong way because I don't know which way my head goes. Let me see who else is in there. Stop it! Toscano-Drums, Hoffman Grooves. Yeah, man. It's cool seeing guys that all know each other in here, man. It's pretty awesome. So what do you think? We'll resume on this. I think I could pull this one out for next week again and do a part 2 to this thing. What do you think? You think it warrants a part 2? I'd like to hear your opinion on that. What do you think? Part 2's coming? Part 2, yeah, maybe. And I'll put in some of the other things. Oh, by the way, I was trying to find a track that groove feels good with, and I realized I might just have to write one. But I was looking for something that sort of was kind of a loose fusion. And I couldn't find it, so I just went, you know what? I'm just gonna play to the metronome, and let that metronome lady be my guide, right? So inverted rolls. We got the 4, we got the 6, we got the 8, we got the 12, we got the 16. We got some other ones in between that I didn't introduce yet, but we're gonna do them. And hey man, cool, Bob. You're definitely getting to part 2. Go over the stick control stuff. If you're not familiar with it, and go over your inverted paradiddle number 6, diddle in the middle, and then all these fun little things. So I would love to play myself out of this, but I don't have a way to hit the switch, so I just have to play the outro. So I apologize. But listen, when this whole craziness is over in the world, and maybe I'll get my production assistant back in here. I'll have Billy, my producer, running the switchboard again and doing all this stuff. And one other thing, man. Be safe, be positive, and take this time. I talk about like kind of reinvent yourself, man. There's so much you could do. There's some people that joke about like, being home. Why would you complain, man? You could do whatever you want, like staying at home and doing things. You don't have to go out and interact with anybody. But, this is how we interact with each other. We get together online. We do some things that we love, like drumming, and use this time to be creative. This is such a great thing. You can spin it, my family works in healthcare, so like I hear a lot of war stories every night. But this is what keeps me grounded and keeps me positive. It's all you guys, all my students and friends that come out to watch me do my live stream thing. So keep it going. Stay positive. Stay creative and have fun. And we'll meet up. By the way, Thursday is the next live stream, the Hand Technique Workshop. We're going to go through more routines from the hands thing, lots more flam routines, and we're going to do our Swiss cheese Lucia, right? And a flammed 5 combo that's kind of fun. And we started on the quintuplet grid last week, which is super fun, right? Doing the 1-endelas. My counting, that the Schneiderman method, as I call it, the 1-endela, 2-endela, 3-endela, 4-endela, 1. A really easy counting method for quintuplets. So we'll be doing that. And I'll see you guys on Thursday night at 7 p.m. And I may do some little live streaming this week on Facebook because I'm done with the testing. It works pretty well. Actually helped Stanton Moore get his Facebook live streaming a little bit cleaner, and so I'm gonna just kind of jump in and do some incognito jumping in and live streaming in the Facebook world. So look for that, and I'll talk to you guys next time. I'm going to try to find my credits over here, if I can, on my switchboard and roll the credits. So I will see you guys very, very soon, if I can find it. Closing titles. All right, be happy, be healthy. God bless. Talk to you later.